In the previous video, I was showing you an example of how you can find out a limit of a complicated function. So we stumbled upon this bit here, and then I said that because we were trying to find out the limit of this here. Now, because this block here doesn't change, I made a move which I haven't taught you yet. I made a move where where I said that this is a constant, it doesn't change, so we can move it in front, so we can move it out and just concentrate on finding out the limit of this bit here. So basically we were trying to find out the limit of this. Now this here doesn't change, this here changes. What I was saying is that because this block here doesn't change, I made a move where I can I moved this out in front, and what I was saying was that this is exactly the same as this. Now what I was trying to do was I was making a move which I haven't taught you. I was actually using this law on limits here. You see, there are lots of laws on limits. Well, I was actually using this law, a law which I haven't taught you yet. So what this law is saying is that if you're trying to find out the limit of this thing here, and this thing here being a function, and this is a constant. You see, this is well, we had a function here. This block here changes as x moves about. This one here doesn't change; it's a constant. So if you're trying to find out the limit of a function multiplying a constant, well, that's the same as you just concentrating on finding out the limit of a function, and then whatever the answer is, multiply out with a c. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that if you're trying to find out the limit of this here, because this doesn't change, just concentrate on finding out the limit of this bit here. So hang on, if you're trying to find out this complicated thing here, just concentrate on finding out the limit of this. So basically what this is saying here is just concentrate on finding out the limit of this, and then whatever the answer is, just multiply it with that constant. That's what I was saying. Well, I was using a law which I haven't taught you yet, which was this law here, and it turns out that there are lots of others which I will cover in the next video. Okay, but before we can tackle these, we've got to understand the very basic law of limits. So here, if you have a limit of a constant, and then you want to find out the limit as x approaches a. So hang on, let's try and look at this. So you can think of this as a function. This is our function c. What that means is, well, if you have a graph of x and y here, a function equals c. That's just like me saying, let's say for example 5. So c here is a number that doesn't change. Let's just say it's 5. Now let's just say a is here. So a is here. Okay. Now the limit of c, which is a function equals c, the limit of c as x approaches a, you've got to move from the left and then head towards a, and from the left hand side it will head towards 5. Okay, and then from the right hand side is also 5. So the limit here, the limit of this graph here is actually 5. Now suppose let's say it's not 5, it's 7. Okay. Well, let's say here we've got instead of using a here, let's just use b. It doesn't matter where. So now this is as x approaches b. Okay. Now if you the limit of c as x approaches b here, it means you start, well, from the left hand side approaching b, it will be 7, and then from the right hand side approaching b, it will also be 7. See, so suppose this is let's say 100. Let's say 100 here. The limit of this, well, then this will also be 100. My point is that no matter what this constant is, it will always let's say you've got a function 37 here as x approaches c. Okay, well, as x approaches c from the left hand side, it will be 37. From the right hand side, it will also be 37. So well, the limit here will be c. Okay, and the other one was the other basic one was this one here. Now, when you try and find out the limit of x here, you can imagine this as being a function f of x equals x. So that's like you drawing a graph of y equals x. Well, anyway, if you try and draw it, it will look like this: x, y, and then yeah, a function of f of x equals x will look like this. Now, you want to find out the limits as x approaches a. Let's just say a is here. Okay, let's just say a is here. Okay, well, because you've got a function f of x equals x, that's just like saying the graph of y equals x. If this is a, then this is also a. That's because a straight line graph will give you a straight diagonal line graph will give you this. Suppose b is here, then hang on, then b, this will also be b. Okay, that's just because we've got a straight line, a diagonal straight line. That's why we have this thing here. If this is a, then this is also a. If this is b, then this is also b. My point is that let's start again here. Let's draw a function here. Okay, so let's look at as x approaches a. Let's just say a is here. It could be anywhere. So if remember, this is also a. Now the limit as x approaches a. So from the left hand side, if you approach a, you will also, the limit here will, the left hand side limit will be a, and then you also have to consider the right hand side. So approaching from the right, you'll also head towards a. You see, the limit of this is actually a, because you're heading towards a here, and then you're also heading towards a here. So the limit here is a. Suppose it's somewhere else. Let's just say, suppose it's here. Let's say b here. Then from the left hand, well, if this is b, then this is also b. Okay, so approaching from the left hand side, you're gonna approach b. You're gonna approach the limit will be b, and from the right hand side, approach it from the right hand side, you're also gonna head towards b. So really, when you have this here, the limit really depends on where you want to approach. But in the previous one, whereas in this one here, it's just a straight line. So it doesn't matter where you approach. It will always be, let's say this is 8 here. It will always be 8 from the right hand. Well, if it's down here, if you want to find out the limit at b here, it will still be 8 in this case. Whereas this one here, it depends on this here. Okay. Well, in the next video, we will look at these. Okay. Well, anyway, in the next video. Okay.